we have returned again, folks. Back at the usual tree spot that I was in the last video, because you love to see it. Such a beautiful, beautiful tree. Anyway, so the main discussion I wanted to look into was like personal growth and like just growth in general in like the context of like Pokemon, because why the hell not? This is a different level of autism. Anyway, so personal growth is defined as improving your mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional wellness within like one's journey. Bloody hell, man, it's windy today. It's absolutely absurd when it comes to wind. I mean, not really, I'm just making a point to pan out the video, mate. Anyway, so how one undergoes a like personal journey, they've got like each different life decisions, whether they want to take, whether it'd be like a safe play, or whether it'd be like you take the safe route and hey, you get some reward, or you want to go like more risky, where hey, look at me, mate, I look tired. Whether you can be like risky, and whilst you might have a chance of like completely losing everything, or else you make a bigger reward. Like, it's like how people would like, how do I say it? Say I've got a crush, for example. They have a crush. Like, they would like tend to shoot their shot, and it'd be a bit risky because like, let's say they were like friends with the person, it could all like collapse, but also at the same time, it could fold into something that's like completely different in their life. That's just how it is. Growth could also just be like a self-improvement kind of thing. Many like young, like I'd say teenagers, for instance, would tend to undergo through this like self-improvement, whereas like they'd try and like go to the gym, they'd improve their diet, improve their sleep and stuff like that. Now me, I cannot sleep. That is impossible. But again, I'm getting off. I'm just pandering the video again. Love it. But anyway, when it comes to personal growth, it's very difficult to really like find ways to improve yourself unless you know what you need to improve. So it's like, this is the kind of video I'm doing today. Really, I'm just wanting to go through my own stuff, just make sure that how can I improve. Just think of this as like a journal in a YouTube video that I'd like to spread publicly to a bunch of people for the shits and giggles. I love this content, man. This is a different level of autism. Oh my days, man. Anyhow. So one thing I'll notice when it comes to personal growth is that you need to identify the sort of issues you have. So let's say one of my biggest issues is that I'm not mature enough sometimes. So what I'd like to focus on when it comes to that stuff is just how can I make a better impression of myself during like day-to-day conversation, and whether that be like giving myself a second to think about this and this, or it could be, okay, so I want to say a joke, but I want to make sure the joke is like just people can understand the joke, people will laugh to it, people won't get uncomfortable. That's just how it is. You want to make sure it's also the right timing to like mention the sort of jokes rather than just messing around as a whole. Otherwise you'll get into a sort of deep trouble from other people who like may find that joke offensive, especially in this day and age. But that's just life, really. There's a lot of complaints when it comes to life. People like to get mad for the sake of getting mad. That's why you've got news stations like, I'd say BBC or like Fox here in America, that like tend to rile people up. Like the whole point, oh yeah, Daily Mailers, for example, like they would like to rile you up. That's just how it is, really. Growth will always be like a very important thing in life, because not everyone is going to have to stay the same. There's different sorts of like glow-ups as well. So for instance, like you'd want to look better, you'd want to improve your financial status, or you want to like get yourself into a good enough relationship, and you grow with the person around you, basically. Like you compliment them, for instance. And of course, again, different things can happen when it comes to improving. So let's just take Mantine from the very start of its competitive debut. It's in ZU currently. If you're watching this like 3-4 years ago, like it might be PU, for example, because again they find like meta developments, or it might be in ZBL. You never know about the poor bugger. Oh, my days. You never know about that. You never know about Mantine. But right now, current, present day, where I'm recording this, I think it's around the 17th of December. It's in ZU. It's currently in ZU. 2024, I should mention that as well. You never know about the date. And that's mainly because, well, there's a limited move pool with it. So like, it still gets like Hydro Pump and like Haze, for instance. But typically speaking, it's such you've got a very exploitable weakness in Electric type. You've got a very exploitable weakness with your Rock type. Your move pool is kind of meh. I mean, you can do like Rain Dance, Hydro Pump shenanigans, or you can do like Curse sets and protect the stuff. That's just what I've used within like GSCZ lately. Rest Talk sets are okay, but again, there's better Rest Talk users, for example, like Water, which runs things like either HP Electric, or I can like Curse sets, or even Zap Cannon. Shout out Zap Cannon, by the way. Very inaccurate as hell, but you've seen Pokemon like Wartortle and even Squirtle from like even lower tiers, like imaginary use, because you love to have that reference there. Run like Zap Cannon as a way of like spreading paralysis and stuff like that in a tier where it's like paralysis is king. Anyway, how Mantine like glowed up, or at least it had a growth, was it got given like several tools and it became more favourable within the generation mechanics. So you have it gained like Swift Swim, so it went from like ZU to NU, for instance. Fell back down a little bit to ZU and stuff because again, Swift Swim as a whole was a little bit more gimmicky. It went down to PU, I think, at worst from like Gen 4 or Gen 5, but that's just how it is. It gained Scald in Gen 5. In Gen 6, it gained Defog. Defog being buffed and went up to like NU, I think. And then it peaked in PU it peaked in RU in Generation 7, where it got Roost. Yes, it gained Boots in Gen 8, but it went down to NU. But I still had a decent niche in RU, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, I'm not really like too involved into the RU things of Generation 8. Bloody hell. Yeah. Everyone's going to have their journeys. It's just how are you going to have your journey? How are you going to improve? What are you going to do to improve? So like, just different tools, every now and again, slowly help build Mantine as a Pokemon. From when it was originally compared to the Skarmory, got what that was all about, look at the stat spread for that, to its own like functional Pokemon with like a pre-evolution of Mantine. Shout out to Mantine, by the way. It's such a strange, like, little goofy Pokemon. Love it, man. Anyway, here's like my more like personal sort of things, because again, I'm just using this more as like a documentation, like a journal, for instance. Document is kind of stupid considering the length of this video will probably be like 20 minutes tops. Looking at the stuff I've got here, I've done alright when it comes to Pokemon. This is like, I think, the first full year of me really getting into the Pokemon community, sorts like Smogon and stuff. I've been mainly predominantly like a Lotus player, and I'll probably stay that way for a year or two before like I really like reach into OU, for instance. But generally speaking, ZU Classic, semis, doesn't matter how I got eliminated card line, that was just awful. I played awful. Even in the video like focusing on growth, I'm still negative. I love this. I love this so much, man. I'm gonna be a grumpy old git when I get older. Oh man. Anyhow. What we're talking about. So yeah, the ADV and GSC. ADVC, by the way, absolute phenomenal tier. Shout out to Gold Mason as well for hosting that Gold Rush tournament. Again, that's besides the point. The main discussion I want to talk about is like my own personal stuff, not riding off someone else's. ADVC is a fun tier though, honestly. Well, I will say, love using Porygon, love using Ponyta, especially with, like, the paralysis spreading is another, paralysis is such a phenomenal kind of thing. Like, you reduce the speed like half or quarter. What's annoying is like the extra chance, like the 25% chance of paralysis of sorts, but again, that's just how it is with Pokemon. Again, there's always going to be that RNG aspect to it. It's like Confusion, for example, with like a Confuse Ray, and then getting banned in SU for RBY because Golbat is such a potent Pokemon. Hell, man. I'm going to refer back to the point I said earlier at the start of the video. Okay. Back to this. ZU Olympiad. Very start of the year. I played one game. Like, one game mattered a lot. Because, again, it's always that personal stuff. Always with GSC. GSC, man. At the very start of the year, I used to like... No, I wouldn't even say that. At the start of the year, I weren't that fond of like the GSC compared to metagame, because again, what in my head thought was like it's a little bit slow, but at the same time, it could be the opposite of slow sometimes, like depending on how you build. And even if like there is a slow game, it gives you time to really like think on how you want to like make your moves and stuff. Even like the stall in GSC is competitive in a sense. Like you want to make sure that you're able to break down stuff through like whirlpool strategies, like there growl mill tank for example, just any of the sorts really. Like such a shout out to GSC, man. Even in like NU for instance, like Pineco with the spikes offense, and like you have Giga Drains and Lauren Graveler for example. It's a phenomenal metagame. Honestly, it's such a phenomenal metagame. People really like underappreciate it, and that's the big thing about it, man. That's just how it is. Fine, I'll touch on like SU and stuff here. Five tours there, 2 Scarlet Violet, 2 ADV, 1 DPP for some reason. Why did I win? Why am I like getting better at DPP? God knows, man. I'm just built different. I'm still dog shit though. Okay, what else? I'm just gonna lay that out there. So just general achievements, really, I wanted to touch on, because again, I've been trying to improve. Considering like part of the video is more about growth, I want to like find out how can I improve on my overall achievements. Some of the ways I think about it is more just down to, okay, I need to understand the person more, who I'm playing against. That's where like the scout comes in, for instance. I need to like identify what the issue, like how to improve necessarily based on a scout. I'd like to improve on like how my turn-to-turn sequence is. For instance, in Scarlet Violet, I'm terrestrializing too soon. I don't care if you want me to say whether I want to ban Terra or not. That's a completely different topic. But generally speaking, terrestrialization, I do that too early. Especially in like a lot of certain games where it's like I tend to make the wrong play with a Shellos Terra, and then I just ultimately lose the game because a bloody Zora doesn't have like knockoff or something. I don't know. Why am I like yapping over the most random stuff? This is just okay. Different level of autism. Right. So where can I improve? Just generally when it comes to compared to Pokemon. Just more of this like sort of journal stuff is something I want to get into long term, because I feel if I document myself based on like a overall like level to level basis, like video to video basis, I can like recap what I've done, what can I improve on, just everything like that really. Just want to make sure that I at least document my experiences compared to Pokemon, because generally speaking there's not really much content like this. Seriously, I guess you could say like BKC, but like even then BKC does like completely other stuff other than this. Like he doesn't really like document his life like that. He's more like, okay, so I've done this, and this back in the day. That's how it is. And yeah, I want to be different. I want to showcase a bit more of my personality. I want to get more comfortable with myself. That's just what it is. If you're more comfortable with yourself, you're more likely to take risks, and those risks will lead to higher rewards. For instance, just take that extra leap. Don't be afraid to like really showcase yourself. Like really like improve on how you want to improve. Otherwise, well, you're gonna get stuck in complacency, and that's just what it is. You've got to find a direction for yourself, and that's just what it is really with life. You got to make sure that you improve yourself day to day, make sure you understand yourself more, make sure you understand other people around you, make sure you get them comfortable, just that kind of stuff really. Other stuff I want to look into is just more how to like make myself a better person really. That's another thing. Connections are a big thing when it comes to life. If you're not having if you're not communicating properly with the right people, they're gonna like be disinterested in you, and that's just how it is in life really. If people don't find you like interesting, or if people don't really find you like, actually no, to be fair, you could be boring as balls and you'd still be fine, but like you got to make sure that you leave an impression on people. You want to make sure that they understand who you are and what you're doing. So again, I want to be a coach, for instance, or like a teacher one day. I want to make sure that I understand the people around me. So like when I'm going in and, let's say, teaching a bunch of kids a football drill or a soccer drill, because bloody a lot of people are American who watch this content. I want to make sure that they're understanding the drill itself. I want to understand the people around me, so like what ability they are, what kind of approach I want to take to them. So let's say I want to be like autocratic with like how I'm like going through things. So like I want to guide them doing this, this, and this. For instance, got a notification, lovely. And they will be able to respond into like how I'm showcasing them really, and eventually they'll be able to improve on, let's say, passing, for instance. I don't think I'm bouncing off this stuff really, it's funny. But yeah, if you're able to understand yourself, you'll be able to understand people a lot easier. And that's just the main thing. Because at the end of the day, you're only as good as what you make yourself to be, really, in the world. And I want to make sure that I'm striving to do the best I can be. Sometimes I'm going to slip up, of course, but that's just life, really. So not everything is going to go your way. Not everything you can do is genuine. Like you want to stand by in like certain years' time. Hell, I might even regret these videos. You never know, really. But hey, they're out there for that. They're out there for a reason. I want to make sure that hey, I want to document my life really, or at least a little bit more than what I've been doing now, really. What other stuff? But generally speaking, I'm only 19, really. I've still got plenty of years left in me. First year in uni, even. So I've got plenty of time to really, like, adjust myself, develop myself to be a better person. That I can experiment a bit more. And that's what I want to do these kind of videos, really. Because I want to make sure that, hey, these people understand what I'm doing. These people are going to see what I'm doing. Not like day to day, obviously. I'm not going to reveal my entire life just like this, but you're going to understand what I'm doing. And I'm going to fit a specific niche that very few people will understand, but those who do understand. That's just what it is, really. I'm going to pad out the video a bit more here, so I'm going to talk about Ivysaur with growth. Love it. Growth Ivysaur, at least in the more like old metagame of GSCZ, had I think it was like growth, either raise lethal Giga Drain to like heal off like Crocodile, for example, and then you'd have, let's say, Hidden Power Fire Ice, depending on like whether you want to hit. Opposing grass types like Bayleaf, Weeping Bell, you're opposing Ivysaur, Parasect, Butterfree, for example, or Ice for, well, Butterfree, and then like what else? I'm trying to think. Substitute users of rock types. I think Onyx at some point has tried to get creative with a substitute, really, just to make sure that they can, because Giga Drain fails on the substitute. If this is how you're finding out, fair enough, mate. Don't blame me. But you want to make sure you can catch them out. You want to make sure you can hit the likes of what's this? There's other grass types are the same. Again, you hit the grass types the same. Flying types, I think Pidgeotto is a big example of this. Pidgeotto, Doduo, but I think, yeah, Doduo especially, because like it's resisting the grass of the sorts. This is just stuff I'm thinking on top of my head, really, but hey, those are just a few examples of like wide run growth. And then later in the generations where it's like, once growth got buffed, so it's like, it's a +2 in Sun, Ivysaur Chlorophyll started to become even better of sorts, so it would run like growth, weather ball, solar beam, synthesis, or even you could run like Giga Drain instead of solar beam. So it's like after the sun has been set up, you could still use Ivysaur as a Pokemon just to sweep and stuff like that. You'd support, let's say for example, take Sword and Shield ZU, where it's like you have a Sunset, you then pivot out, and then you go into Ivysaur. Then you have as well. Oh, I'm trying to remember. I think Rapidash. That's another example. I think Yuxi is a setter. Oh no, I'm not too versed in the Sword and Shield Z metagame, which is strange because I've played that. I actually haven't really played all so much Sword and Shield Z as a Z player, which is crazy, man. What am I doing, man? What am I doing in my life? Not playing the greatest metagame of all time. Deep be a little cup. Anyway, I think that's how I'm going to call it here, really. I just wanted to get a video out here at the end of the day because I want to make sure that, hey, I want to talk about this, this, and this. I'm just trying to find ways to improve myself, really. I've already mentioned before, so I hope you guys enjoyed this absolute yap session. Love it. Greatest part of the day, just talking about absolute nonsense. And Bloody hell, this wind is absolutely stupid. But it's okay, let's